The following video contains language that may be inappropriate for young viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Welcome to Behind the Bars, where we bring the unseen and the unheard stories from the depths of the prison system to the forefront. I'm your host, Jason Boss, and together we'll explore the madness, the chaos, and the harsh realities hidden behind the steel doors of prisons worldwide. From the local jailhouse to death row across the world, we'll show you the isolation, the seclusion, and the decades spent enduring unimaginable conditions. These are the stories of survival, struggle, and humanity in places most of us will never see. We're here to shine a light on what society often forgets, the voices of the incarcerated. Each story is real, each voice is authentic, and every moment reveals the raw, unfiltered truth of life behind the bars. Join me for a journey like no other, a journey into the darkness, the truth, and the resilience of the human spirit. This is Behind the Bars, real life, real stories. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, I am prepared to sit with a brother of mine. This is Terrell Desawn Perry, and he is doing time in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. And guys, this is podcast number 7, and if you have not caught up with this cat yet or our conversations, guys, you're going to want to check this out. This is a situation that we're talking about that has happened to an individual, and it's something that could absolutely happen to everybody out there. And as we've been discussing with our brother that is out there and discussing with him, he ended up doing time for there's no evidence, right? What we have seen so far with this interview that I've been talking to Terrell is I'm very upside down with this. I'm not happy with the way he was set up, the way he was convicted, the way that the people turned state's evidence on him. And right now we are into a very, very good conversation with this. My brother, my friend, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm all right. I'm just laid back because I had to do a lot of thinking. The last podcast had me reflecting back, man, and just thinking where I was and, where I'm at now. It's like, man, it just breaks me. To live to tell people about it, man, try to help people get out their situation.
And that's the thing that I hope that we can bring out on these Behind the Bars podcasts is that we can hopefully thwart the dangers that are imminent to just being a citizen of the United States of America. There's a lot of things that can happen to you that you have no control of. And brother, you were basically doing a crime that was non-violent that turned into a little bit of violence, but then the murder was not even by your own hands. And as far as those moments going from, your fight with your coke dealer going, about some months later, getting arrested for the hot checks, and while you were in jail for the hot checks, you had the detectives come.
Yeah.
And guys, podcast number 6, we talked about what I would call being bamboozled. He had a couple of detectives come in that basically had him sign away his life. He signed away. I guess it was an indictment. Is it an indictment that you signed?
Yeah. But I didn't know it. They made it seem like they wanted to show that. They told me that the conversation we was gonna have basically was like them telling me I had the right to, like the Miranda rights, basically. That's what they were saying, like, for the conversation, saying if they ask me something I don't want to answer, I don't have to answer. That's what they told me it was for. But when I did sign it, they flipped over the other piece of paper and slid it to me, and I'm like, what's this? They just doing the little smirks and laughs and was like, that's the indictment you just signed. I'm like, what indictment for what? They were like, for the capital murder charge, So I'm like, man, I don't want that. I stood up and slid the paper off the desk and when it told when it hit the little button for the people to let me out. I don't want to talk to them no more. I see they was, trying to be, get some slick stuff. So, but I never would have signed it. I definitely didn't do it, So
So you were in the county jail for 2 years. Your trial was about 3 days.
Yes, sir.
And so on the third day of the trial, the jury, when did they head out to, do you remember what time it was they went out to deliberate this?
I don't necessarily remember. I don't remember the time. I don't remember the time that they exactly went out to deliberate, but I'm trying to think what time. It was kind of like in the evening, around, I'm gonna say 12, 1 or something like that. And like they deliberated for some hours, man. I think like 1 or 2 hours, because they were asking questions. They sent questionnaires back up to the judge, you know, about stuff that they had questions about, man. And you know, the judge didn't help them at all, you know, about laws that apply to the case that they should apply or not. And so in the end, ultimately I got convicted.
So these guys came back in, and I'm sure you were on pins and needles when they came and read this. But can you tell me a little bit about what you were thinking as they came back in, and when they first said it? Did you have the hopes they were going to come back with innocent? Were things leaning towards guilty?
Well, I was thinking that because there were some things said like outside of the court record that, you know, because like before they brought everybody, when they sent everybody to the final, I think it was the final reset before they brought everybody back in. Everybody was gone. The court reporter was gone, so she didn't record this. This is like off the record, and the judge was like this case, it was really like y'all doing a bunch of, you know, charitable shit, because he said it's gonna be hard because, you know, y'all don't have no evidence. Then I guess he caught himself and he was like, well, y'all got some evidence, but it's not really a lot of fact evidence, you know. And so I'm thinking, like, if he knows this, then why ain't he saying nothing, you know? But so, and then when they brought everybody back in, they did the last little preliminary part or whatever part. So they sent the jury out to deliberate. Everybody rested their case, so they just sent the jury out to deliberate, and quit back in. They brought me back in, so the lawyer and the judge could you know, go over the questionnaire, read the questions out that they asked, and so he wanted to see if my lawyer had any objections to what he was sending the jury, and he, of course, he didn't object to anything. So, but this was strange, is because before the jury came back in with the jury says deliberate. So when they came back in, you know, I'm noticing everything. I see the two district attorneys and the court reporter lady. When she came back in and sat down, they was looking at her, and she looked at them, and she shook her head up and down at them like, yes, yes. You know what I'm saying? Like making the yes gesture. So I'm like, what was that about? You know? So they were kind of like, you know, like on the cool, like pumping their fists or whatever, like they had some hope or something. So I'm like, all right. But so I kind of expected then that, I was going to be found guilty.
And what were your feelings when they said that guilty verdict? How did you feel? What was your stomach flipping? I mean, were you upset? Obviously, what were those emotions?
Man, it was a whirlwind of a lot of feelings. But the main thing is that throughout all the story and everything I told, it is like, I never had the father figure, you know. I never had that. So I was like, my son, man, and my daughter, they ain't gonna have no father figure either, you know. And now it's like everything I tried to do is just over with now. And I thought about my mom, you know. She was back there crying, and I was like, man, it was just messed up, man. I was mad, angry. And I just couldn't talk. I didn't talk to nobody for about a week, besides my family that came to visit me. And, man, it was just emotionally draining. And I mean, you seen it, like, I was in the county for 2 years, so I kind of seen how they operate. I've seen a lot of people, I've seen a lot. It's crazy because a lot of people that was, like, guilty, they kind of, like, got life finishes, and the people that they actually had to fight to convict, they made sure that they gave them, like, a lot of time. So it's like, this your punishment for making us go to trial.
So how long was
I angry at her?
You're angry, yeah, and definitely. How long before you went to sentencing? When was your sentencing after this?
That was it. They did all that in the same thing.
That was the same thing. So they basically said you're guilty, and then he gave you your years right there, life.
Yeah, he gave me life with the possibility, since they wasn't seeking the death penalty, it was going to seek the death penalty, but then they took it off and said that it wasn't. At this time, you can get either life without parole, or you can get life with the possibility of parole. So I got the life with the possibility of parole, but I would have to do 40 years.
You just had gotten sentenced to life with the possibility of parole, and now let's talk about this, because you had already been in county jail for 2 years. And how long were you in county jail prior to them sending you off to TDCJ?
I was in all. It was like I was like 8 extra months. It was like 8 extra months I did, because some about the paperwork they had to do, it wasn't filed yet. and I understood why, because, they actually took me back to the courthouse. And a lawyer came in and said that, man, it's a great deal for you. Like, they said they never do this. Like, they never do this. I'm like, what you talking about? And he said, they want to take the life sentence back if you were signed for 4 years. I said, what? That don't sound right. He said, yeah. He said, it's a good deal. If you take, they said if you're willing to sign for 4 years today, they're willing to take back the life sentence. I said, you mean to tell me that right now, if I sign for 40 years, they would take the life sentence off? He said, yeah. He said, this don't never happen. I said, yeah, that's why I don't believe you. And he was like, well, he said, yeah, but that's what they offering. So I said, you know what, all right. I said, go get the paperwork. I'll sign for 4 years right now. And he said, okay. He left. And I never seen him again. I stayed there for about 3 hours, and they just put me back in the police car and put me back and sent me back to the county jail. And I never heard from them again. I'm like, why did they go through all that trouble for that? Just to, like, I didn't never understand. But it took them that I stayed an extra 8 months for that. And then, I came down here to the TDC.
Wow, that is totally weird, man. That's totally messing with your head. I mean, and then you were probably sitting in jail wondering what's going on. I mean, still to this day, I mean, you got to wonder what was happening there. What didn't happen?
Yeah, I never understood that, and it always stuck with me. Like, why did that happen?
Okay, so let's take it from your days in county to the first moment you get loaded up on that bus. Now, in county jail, were you ever strip searched?
Yes, yes, a lot. And actually, when I gave my lawyer those letters and told him like what we should do with them during trial, if they put it on the stand, my son was on the stand. They actually came and shook my seat around and took some, like I had like a discovery packet, like found a motion for discovery and all the evidence that they had to even lock you up and and build a case against you. They took that. They took the legal mail from the legal mail from it, and I never did it again. I told my lawyer about it. He said, I'm gonna see what I can do about it, and he just gave me another discovery, but I'm like, that don't stop the fact that they coming in my cell, shaking me down and taking my legal work. And I don't know if it was because I don't know if it was because I gave him letters or not. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why he done it. But, yeah, so I've been stripped down a lot and strip searched a lot.
Wow.
In the county jail.
Wow. Yeah, and so that's I ask people that because when I went to jail back in the days, we were in Idaho, and so I didn't have my first official strip search up until I loaded up onto the prison bus, and that's when things got real. And so I often ask guys what's up because it gets real when they make you take your clothes off and strip you, and you realize where you're at. Okay, so you're in this 2 years and 8 months, and then they ship you over to, probably one of the hardest prisons in anywhere in North America, I would say by far. I've heard more crazy stuff out of the TDCJ than I think I've heard anywhere on these prisons. So you're in a rough house. You're in a rough time. So where did you go first, from county into what? Where'd you hit?
I went to a unit called a Gurney unit. It's like an intake. So when you first go in, like diagnostic. And as soon as we get off the bus, they lined everybody up on like 2 or 3 buses. They pull up from different counties across Texas, bringing inmates into the system. They strip everybody naked and put us on this big old slab, concrete slab. So everybody's standing. I'm gonna say a rough estimate about 40 naked inmates standing in line, and you got the officers running around talking about, I'm not your friend, I'm not officer, I'm not nothing. He said, you are to call me boss. I am your boss from now on. Like, don't you want to address me, you say boss, or if you see any kind of medal on our shirt, you address us by the rank and file of what we are. So it's like, you see a sergeant boy, you say sergeant. And if you don't see no boss, you call the officer a boss. That's what you call him. I was like, what? Where am I at? Like, what they got me at? I thought this was the penitentiary. It's like some military type stuff. But yeah, so so after that, I did the intake thing, and I'm like, man, I never been through nothing like this. This is crazy. This is totally different. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, how old are you right there at this point?
23.
23.
23.
Oh, boy. All right. So
24, 25, 23. Hold on, count. 23.
Okay.
When I first went, 24. So I stayed in the county 2 years, 8 months. So I stayed 25. I'm 25. 25.
Okay, and you hit the pin. Okay, you're at the Gurney unit, and for anybody that's out there, I mean, this is what the Texas Department of Criminal Justice does. It's like, I've heard other accounts just like Terrell's, and the process of stripping the people naked, it's all a mind game. This is absolutely to demoralize and to show who is in absolute control. And what are you going to do, right? You're standing there naked, people screaming at you like a military guard, and it's really to demoralize and to put the people into to know who the boss is. And so take us through this first week. What's your first?
It was really dehumanized. Like, he didn't feel like a human. He felt like anything other than a human at this point in time. So, but they take us in, they search for the tattoos, the gang affiliates, and they put certain gang members in certain cages that have the tattoo art of certain gangs. They separate them, and I didn't have any, so I went into, and this whole time that we was doing this, we absolutely naked. There's no clothes been gave to us yet. So I'm going to say when I first got off the bus, within 5 minutes of being off the bus, I was stripped naked. And I was probably naked for about the next 4 or 5 hours straight.
Wow.
So, and then I went, then after that, we went to the shower. They shave off your hair. And I got clothes, I got a mat, and they took me straight to SIG. I didn't even go to population. I went straight to a one-man cell back in administrative segregation because they said I had too much time to be in population with with population inmates. So if you had like 50 years above, they sent you straight to SIG until you get to your unit where you're going to be housed at permanently, your ID unit. So I went from there. I stayed there over the weekend. So the next weekend, I got sent to Byrd unit. Byrd unit is basically like one of the, we call old red brick units where there's no heat, there's no air conditioner. If it's cold outside, it's cold in your cell. If it's hot outside, it's hot in your cell. You basically living outside. The only thing separated is a concrete wall and fences. Like that's the only thing separating. So I went through that, and then I'm gonna say I stayed over there like about a month. After that, I got sent to a Clemens unit. 2006, on my birthday of all days, I made it to Bill Clemens unit on my birthday, October 18th, 2006. Let me see. Yeah, so man,
and that's you said that's the Byrd unit, Burr.
Yeah, Byrd.
Byrd. Okay, Byrd unit. I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Byrd unit. Okay, so you're it's on your birthday. This is your 26th birthday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 2006.
Yep.
Okay, so what happened over at the Byrd unit? How'd that go down?
Well, Byrd, I was there for about really you just in the cell all day, and that's where you go and they get your contact information for like visitation, phone. Well, it wasn't a phone. Visitation. It was emergency phone numbers. Like if something happened to you, who to call, the phone numbers for that. And get your ID, get your picture taken, your inmate ID. All that happens then, and then they process you out to whatever unit you're going to. And they sent me all the way from East Texas to West Texas. I went across the whole entire state of Texas to Amarillo, Texas, Bill Clemens unit.
How was that a day trip that took you to get there?
No, 2 days.
So where do they house you between that? Where do you go?
You go to a unit called Robertson unit. That's where you stop for your layover at night. You sit there, like, unless you get, called on the weekend, you got to stay there, lay over all weekend. But we went in the middle of the week, so we left, and we made it to the Robertson unit. I stayed there overnight, and the next day you picked up, and you go further out, West Texas, to the unit. Like, either unit out there in the West Texas, that's where you're going to. But you have to lay over on the Robertson unit. And so, the Robertson unit is where you might lose everything that you own.
Oh.
Your property, like the little bit of property that you do have, that's where you might lose it all because some inmates gonna find their way to it on the Robertson unit, and hopefully, you have your property when you leave the next day.
Did you run into any problems there at the Robertson unit?
No, because we in transit. In transit, you just sit in the cell. They're going to bring you food till you leave. And I was in transit, so I didn't leave out the cell. And I didn't leave out the cell. And so the next day I left, and I made it to the Bill Clemens unit around, I'm going to say 1 that evening, 12 or 1 that 12 that afternoon, 1 that afternoon or something. But no, I really didn't have a lot of trouble when I first went there because I had already been to the penitentiary in Arkansas, so I kind of knew how to, do time a little bit. I just didn't know how to do Texas time, with a city, like where you in the cell with one other person. Like, cause Arkansas penitentiary is different. It's like a dorm, like it's all open. Everybody's in there together. Whereas in Texas, you're in the cell with one other person.
And so that was your first experience. How did that go down? And this is at the Bill Clemens prison? Clemens?
Yeah, Bill Clemens unit in Amarillo, Texas.
Unit.
Well, so I once I got off transit there, you go straight to transit till they find you a house or a cell. And I went to a cell, and And the first, I had a fella, his name was, I forgot his name, he was a Spanish guy. And he kind of like told me how Texas time was, because I asked him like how they do time, how they do stuff around here, because I didn't want to, go to the wrong spot, the wrong table, or, sit at the wrong table in the town, because I didn't know, how people or gang members or what, I didn't know where they be at, where they located at, where they post up at. So I had to figure all that out, and I had to find all that out, because I didn't want to, be disrespectful.
Mm. And so he set you up with all the information you needed. Is this a white guy or a black guy?
No, it's Hispanic guy. Spanish guy. Mexican man. He let me know what was going on.
And is it a 2-bed room where you basically top bunk, bottom bunk? Then you ended up at the top?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I was on top.
Okay. I hated the top bunk. Okay. Now, can't get no rest up there, bro. Okay. So you were in the Clemens unit. You were in the double cell, and what happens? How's it go from there?
It was all right. Once you get accustomed to the unit, to people, time, it's like you're just doing time, man. You're doing time. You're trying to see what kind of support you got, from outside, or, you start to find friends and associates and who to associate with and who not to associate with, and you start to learn the system basically, because you have to, because that's where you're going to be living the rest of your life. That's the way it seems. So you have to learn people, all the people and the systems and the way they operate and how they move inside the penitentiary.
Now, was this unit was it completely mixed, black, white, Hispanics, or was it more blacks or more whites?
It's mixed. It just depends on what part you're on. Some parts may have more Spanish guys, some parts may have more white, some parts may have more black. It just depends.
Now, were the people in this the Clemens unit, are we talking like just every age, all the way up to seniors, like really old guys? Yeah, really old guys that had already been locked up a while. Matter of fact, the guy I was telling you about before we started, I was telling you about that I just took the hygiene bag to. Mm-hmm. Like, I met him over there. Yeah, he had already been locked up like 40 years. Wow.
I just started. so I just ran across him like about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Came over here, and actually last month, the first hit I ever had, like, he came over here. I seen him, and I was talking to him. I'm like, man, you my first hit I ever had in the penitentiary, man. So yeah, I was helping him out until he got himself situated and straight, man. Now he all right. He taking classes, trying to come out of SEG too. So sweet. Yeah, them guys, because he was locked up like 3 years before me. So he actually been locked up like 25 years right now.
Wow.
But yeah, so yeah, you just doing time, man, and you don't know how fast time flies when you like living in the penitentiary, man, because you seeing stuff, you doing stuff, and of course there's fights, there's famines, and it's all the other stuff that's going on, and to be in the middle of all this and being forced to live, and you shouldn't have to, because you're not supposed to be there. It's like, it's like I could have died or something. Like, you never know what could have happened, and I wasn't even supposed to be here. Like, that's all the type of stuff that run through your head while you're doing time, while you're incarcerated for something that should not have happened.
Yeah, definitely. The system got you. Now, so how many years were you at the Clemens unit on this?
From 2006 until 2001, I think, January 2021. 2021.
Oh, 2000. So
from 2006.
Long time.
Yeah. Then I went to Ferguson unit. Now, Ferguson unit. Now, this unit is dangerous.
The Ferguson unit is dangerous.
It's bad.
Now,
it's bad, man.
Why did you spend all that time at the Clemens unit and up to 21? What happened at that point?
I don't know, man. It was like, I don't know why. They just kept me over there all the time. That's why I did most of my time at.
But was
I don't know.
Was there any reason why, in 2021 they just, they said pack your stuff? I mean, was that weird?
Oh man, yes, because they, it's TDC is severely understaffed. That's why it's so dangerous, because there's not a lot of officers to protect inmates that need protection or medical attention or anything like that. It's not always. And the ones that do work there, I say 90% of the ones that do work there, they don't care. They do not care. They just don't. And it's just the bottom line to it. So, they closed down some units. This is around COVID, when the COVID hit. They closed down a bunch of units. And they closed down the unit that was right beside the Bill Clemens unit, Neil unit, and they sent some inmates from over there on Bill Clemens unit. Then Bill Clemens unit got so understaffed. They was operating at, I'm gonna say like 25% staff over there, and that's how severely understaffed they were. So it was a lot of stuff started happening. Bill Clemens kind of got damaged. It was a lot of stuff happening. It gets so bad that because I was working on the ice crew, right? So I passed out ice to all the pods during like the summertime and the wintertime. So I passed out ice. So it got so bad to where the warden locked the whole unit down, because he was like, man, there's too many incidents, like they call them ICS. There's too many ICS involved in it.
Hold on, it just broke up. Hang tight. Let me know when you hear me.
Hello?
There we are. We're back. Okay. What does ICS stand for?
Hold on. Do anyone of y'all know what ICS means? The ICS, they call ICS. This is my coworker there. Old guys with a bunch of wisdom and gray hair.
Yeah, man. Give him a shout out, bro.
Okay. Oh, hey, Jason said give him a shout out to y'all, man.
hey, tell this cat he should come on Behind the Bars one of these days.
Oh yeah, I got him lined up. One of them is they call him Harvey Brandt. He been locked up over 41 years.
Oh my gosh.
41 years, and he did how many? They say 36. He did 36 years in the city.
Wow.
He's walking with us now.
Wow.
Yeah. And my other this is one I consider a friend. He might not consider me a friend. He anti-social. His name is Henry Hutchinson. We call him Hank. Yeah, he been locked up a while too, but.
Oh man!
So I'm not gonna say it.
Hey, you tell those brothers, man. There's some mad love out here from some of these free people, man. We got your backs, man. We got love to you.
All right, I get you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's called what? Inmate control situation.
Okay, inmate control. I got you.
Inmate control situation. So there was so many of them going back to where the warden said we don't have staff to handle all these ICS, and if there's any more, it could get out of hand. We just can't control it. They understaffed. So he locked the unit down for about 3-4 days. And they had to get other officers from other regions and other penitentiaries to come down there and work for like a week or two and leave and come back, and because they so understaffed, and a lot of people was getting taken advantage of. Like they was taking this fight, like if it's a fight, there's not a lot of there's not no help. Not no help. You can die, and they won't even do it. Because officers is understaffed. And
I've said it before. I don't think there's a worse job than a prison guard. I just don't think it exists. I think that's one of the worst things when you are into the human containment people. I just think that's a very bad job. Okay, so 2021, you were moved over to Ferguson, and you said that's the crazy spot. We got about 6 minutes left, about 5. I want to get you some final thoughts on that. So about 4 minutes. Can you tell me a little bit about the Ferguson and your move in 2021? Because you're now at a different unit. You're in Estelle. So how long were you at Ferguson?
Yeah. I was at Ferguson for 2 years.
Okay.
And I want to spotlight this because we can talk about this probably, because everything revolves around this. I would not be who I am and doing what I'm doing without the Father, coming to my life and really showing me the way, And I want to tell you that at Bill Clemens, I've developed a real trust for the scriptures because I now follow it in truth because I fasted for 58 days on a search for the truth, because I didn't know what to be. Now, that's a story for another day. But anyway, so I did hook up with my Hebrew Israelite brothers on Bill Clemens, and that's why I even knew about it. I didn't even know nothing about it. So I found out about that. And so at this time, Joshua was with me, Yahweh with me. So I have a different outlook on life right now. Like I really want to change and help people now, because I see things different. I see things from a more spiritual perspective during this time. So in the midst of all that, I get shipped to Ferguson unit, man, and Ferguson unit was a shock because I always heard about it. I never knew. And I was like, man, I so don't want to go there and all that, because it was bad where I was at. But then when I get over there, it's like, man, the first day they had a ride in the child, and the second day a guy tied himself in his cell and burned himself up because he was high on ice. and the third day, they came and shook down the floor and pissed everybody, and I was like, man, I haven't been here a week. And exactly a week after that, a guy that was in my cell, he swallowed some ice. I guess it bust open in his stomach, and he had a whole, meltdown. He was peeing on himself, and the officer had to come get him, and I'm talking about he went on a total rampage, about himself. I'm talking about he was tripping. He had an ice trip. And this was like my first sailing over there. I'm like, man, and this guy looks Ferrigno. I'm like, man, I hope this guy don't check out in the cell with me because I still hate to try to iced up soup. But actually, he wrote that. Guess how he looked.
Did that guy live?
What was going on the whole? Yeah, he did. He actually went home. He made parole and went home.
Wow, sweet.
Yep. Yeah, he made parole and went home. So. Yeah, he lived, man. They took him to lock up, but then I got another city, and this city had been over there, and he was from Memphis, and everybody called him Memphis, man, and so he kind of laid down what was going on over there to me. And he let me know what was going on, and man, it was there wasn't nothing over there really but cell phones, dope, and a whole bunch of violence. And that's what was going on over there. I was kind of older then, so they didn't really, they was calling me uncle, they was calling me OG, and they was calling me old guy. The common respect words, names that they call, that the young guys call old guys. I had been locked up at this time 18, 19 years, so they were looking at me like an old time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was 40-some years old then at this time, so they was old school this. And I was cool, because, I'm not I don't do nothing. They call me the cool old school. They call me, yeah, cool old school.
Well, I conclude, bro. I believe you are the old cool school.
You have 1 minute left.
The guy, the man. And, you know, my brother, let's give you the last minute on this. Let's let you speak to the people. What we have time left. Give anything you got for the last little bit here, and then I will definitely talk to you tomorrow morning. What do you got for the people?
Oh, man, just honestly, man, I love everyone, man. I'm trying to spread the love, trying to show something different in the world other than what we're seeing, you know, because we are not a product of our environment. We are the environment. Whatever we produce in our environment, that's what our environment can be. We produce love, then our environment would be love. When we produce peace, our environment would be full of peace. So that's what I'm promoting, man. And through all this, you know, I'm just a perfect man. And I just want to show everybody that, you know, the best side of me.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, brothers and sisters, thank you very much, brother. Thank you.